fake, disgusting news.
Once upon a time, the Republican Party was the party not just of anti-hippies, but of personal responsibility and of law and order. What party? Where is that party? Here, no one's willing to hold, in the Republican Party, is willing to hold Donald Trump to account for his crimes. Crimes that aren't really even in dispute.
But I do think this is interesting as well. We should note that 47% of voters in this survey say that these charges were politically motivated.
Politically motivated.
People in general who believe that his prosecutors are politically motivated. This happens to be true, in my opinion. I doubt the New York indictment would have been brought against a defendant whose name was not Donald Trump.
Crimes that aren't really even in dispute.
Let's find the crime to prosecute Trump for, and they couldn't find the crime, so they made it up. We're now a day after the verdict. I've known criminal law. I've been involved in criminal law 60 years. I still don't know what the crime is.
Right.
Well, I disagree with a number of things George said, of course. I mean, he's talking about these obvious crimes that were committed. I mean, he's talking about the obvious crimes that were supposedly committed, but that's the core of what a lot of decidedly non-MAGA Republicans are mad about, is that there is no underlying crime. I looked at the statement from Maine Senator Susan Collins, who I think encapsulated it perfectly. She said this was a partisan prosecutor who promised to get Trump. Nonsense. And that's what he did, not promise to go after the law,
nonsense.
But he promised to go after Donald Trump. And so the issue is here, what is the crime? He's never been indicted for or convicted of the campaign finance theory at the core of this case. And so Republicans are wondering today, you know, what do you have to do to...
What do you have to do to...
Gonna cry?
I think you're probably going to see this backfire politically on the Democrats, and they're going to regret it.
I mean, George, I will say, I have heard from some people who really don't want to see Trump get elected in the Republican Party who are concerned that this particular case is just going to drive additional enthusiasm for the former president. I'm interested in you to respond to that, and you got your face in your hands. What do you got to say to Scott?
I have to say, I mean, look, you know, Scott's lying, and that's the problem with the Republican Party. It is continually addicted to lies.
Wait a minute. What am I lying
You're
about?
lying. You're lying, Scott. You're lying about the law. You're lying about what the jury was charged to find. They don't have to find an underlying crime. They had to find the intent to cover up an underlying crime. And the underlying crime was pretty obvious.
What was the crime?
You ran for public office, Scott. You ran for public office, Scott. You know you can't take money from somebody and reimburse them as a, you know, if it's a campaign expense.
I've never run for
damn
public
well.
office.
And okay, fine. Well, you're close enough. You're involved in politics to know that. Okay, so that's the problem with the Republican Party, is that they are suffused with lies. I don't know why this network is paying Scott to say those lies.
Whoa,
on his
okay,
morning
let's
show.
not go there,
ridiculous.
George. Please, let's not go there.
No,
okay?
we should go there.
Scott is our colleague, and we're going to treat him respectfully as such.
These Democrats in New York, I mean, if you ask the average Republican, have been desperate to get Trump from the beginning, and they finally did it. And I'm not a lawyer, but the political impact of this, I am an expert on, and I'm telling you right now, this has done more to unify the Republican Party behind Trump than anything else you could have possibly done. I've heard people on TV last night say, now they got to throw him in jail. We got to throw him in jail. My advice would be, go right ahead. Ask for the maximum jail time. Go right ahead.
They could. The judge could decide to say, hey, house arrest or even jail.
It
How
could.
do you face what that could look
I'm okay with it.
The judge could decide to say, hey, house arrest or even jail.
What that could
I'm okay with it.
You have nothing to threaten me with. Nothing to do with all your strength.
And my Lord, we're in much more trouble than I ever thought we were.